UFO whistleblower David Grusch revealed his first-hand UFO knowledge in a secret UFO meeting that he held in Manhattan for Wall Street bigwigs and CIA officials. That's what's being reported by the Daily Mail. It actually leaked out on Reddit about a week ago, and there's actually some discrepancies between the article and the actual original Reddit post from someone who leaked photos out and was at the event and leaked out sort of what they talked about, who was there, right, some of this stuff. So it's a little interesting. So let's dive in and see what this is all about. Look, David Grusch talks about the U.S. being in possession of a UFO craft that's 40 foot in diameter, but when you step inside the craft, it's the size of a football field. Okay, they're calling it like a Tardis-like UFO. So we're going to dive into that as well. I'm also going to reveal to you exactly what David Grusch's first-hand UFO knowledge is, because it's sort of a preview of what's going to come out in his op-ed that's supposed to come out. So very interesting, y'all. I'm telling y'all, this is interesting. Why was the CIA there, right? And who are these Wall Street people? What was this for, right? What was the purpose of this? You know, another thing that's interesting, nobody's covering this. Nobody. It's just interesting. I'm just saying. It leaked out on Monday, and I was going to make a video, but then guess what happened? The TMZ UFO Revolution series with Jeremy Corbell, that 3-part, it was supposed to come out Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It actually premiered early on Monday, and the jellyfish UFO video came out. So everybody was talking about that. And I think that might have been, I'm not saying any, I'm not, you know, conspiracy theorist, but that was just odd timing, because then nobody focused on this. Or the Daily Mail got it, but that's it. And then nobody's really talking about it. I don't know why. I'm not saying it's anything negative against David Grusch. Again, David Grusch just recently, yesterday, had, you know, there's a classified UFO briefing held for members of Congress, and many of his claims were validated. I mean, I'll put a link in the description for that video. It's phenomenal, right? So why did he give this meeting? Like, what's the purpose? Is this to prepare people for disclosure, right? So let's dive in. See what this is about. Look, if you like content like this and you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, y'all. We put out a new video every day, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. And, of course, hit that like button, please. That really helps out the videos. Thank y'all so much for all the support there. And, of course, comment down below. What do you think of this meeting? It's crazy. Look, I got pictures and stuff, so let's dive in. See what this is all about, and some details on the presentation he gave. And there's some interesting details on there. I can't wait to read the comments of what everyone thinks about this, to be honest with you. All right, let's just dive in. Let's start with this article here from Daily Mail. Then I'm going to show you guys the actual Reddit post, so you can see just one particular photo in particular of why they didn't share this. So yeah, let's dive in. All right, UFO whistleblower held secret talk with Wall Street bigwigs and CIA officials in Manhattan, where he claimed U.S. was in possession of a 40-foot Tardis-like craft that was the size of a football field when you stepped inside. Former U.S. intelligence officer David Grusch held a secret UFO presentation. He revealed new details about the U.S.'s UAP retrieval program to 60 people. So that's how many people were there. All right, a UFO whistleblower, David Grusch, shared new details of a Tardis-like craft in government possession, U.S. government possession, during a secret meeting in New York City. Decorated former Air Force intelligence officer David Grusch claims his sources worked on a 40-foot UAP that was the size of a football field when they stepped inside, according to an attendee at the event. The object would manipulate both space and time and could harness enough energy to power 70,000 homes a year, the source said. Now, let's take a look at some pictures real quick before I read any more. So here he is. This is David Grusch, right, here at the event. You can see he's got the TV here behind, right? He's giving a presentation to all these people that are here. And, of course, someone leaked a photo out, right? You can see here, they did like a Q&A, answered questions. So anyway, let's get back to the article. And again, I've got more pictures of that event that they, for some reason, Daily Mail just didn't share. And they're interesting. Like, I don't know why they didn't share them, but I've got them. DailyMail.com understands that guests included officials from the FBI, CIA, Department of Homeland Security, tech entrepreneurs, and Wall Street bigwigs. So I don't know what that means, y'all. Right? What do y'all think? Tell me in the comments. All in, Grusch gave the talk to 60 people at a penthouse in Manhattan, and photos were banned from the event. Yet we have them. Again, everything leaks out except photos of actual UFO, right? Like, that's what we need. Okay, that leak out. The only information about the meeting was leaked by an anonymous attendee who took pictures of Grusch. DailyMail.com has since verified that the meeting took place and was told by sources that Coinbase advisor John D'Agostino, and high-powered attorney John J. Altorelli hosted the event. Coinbase is a publicly traded company that operates a cryptocurrency exchange platform. The two men are said to host monthly events at the penthouse apartment focusing on different topics. Okay, so that's an interesting detail. So it sounds like they're constantly having events like this, and David Grusch just happened to be on the schedule. There may not be any more to it than that, right? It may be as simple as that. But why would he reveal things that he hasn't revealed publicly there about this? That's what's odd. And this is a free event, right? The leaker said it was hosted by a Wall Street bigwig and his lawyer friend. It was sort of a small saloon-style talk. David also did it for free, even went as far as to fly into New York City just for this. He had arrived only a few hours beforehand and then left first thing the next day. The idea was to get a group of both skeptics and believers from all these different walks of life for a talk regarding David and the things he has said. Most of the people who left had left as believers. That's also an interesting detail. So bringing different people together to take a look at this information. See, it doesn't sound very dubious, like, oh, FBI, CIA, you know. I don't know if there's anything more to it than just different people coming so he could give this presentation. But again, why leak out, or why tell them stuff you haven't said publicly like that? Like, why can't you tell us that, right? Why did it have to leak out like that? I don't understand that. That's kind of interesting. So maybe there's a reason. I don't know. Do they have some sort of influence? What was he asking of them at this meeting? I think that's the biggest question. What did he want to occur at this meeting? For 60 people to just be convinced? That seems odd, to fly into a town to just convince 60 people, unless those 60 people have influence and can then influence more people, right? Then you're not just influencing 60 people, you're influencing leaders that can influence thousands, millions. Is that the idea? I don't know. Again, what was the purpose? Did he ask for something in return there, David? Did he ask him to sign up for something? Did he offer something? Grusch has made headlines since June 2023 when he claimed the Vatican is aware of the existence of non-human intelligences, NHIs, and helped the U.S. retrieve a downed UFO from Italian dictator Benito Mussolini at the end of the Second World War. The former intelligence official then gave sworn testimony in front of Congress in July, where he and two other military whistleblowers shared details about firsthand encounters or knowledge about secret government programs involving technology that is non-human. At the hearing, Grusch claimed the U.S. has been in possession of UFOs since the 1930s, but said in New York that the government has taken part in a fair amount of crash retrievals before 1933, according to the attendee summary. A fair amount? What does that mean? You know? I don't understand that. Like, I mean, how has the United States government before 1933, like, Civil War? We got some crash retrieval program? I just don't see how that's happening. I don't know. Was our government running well like that? I mean, the Depression is right before that in the 20s, right? I don't know. That's interesting. I don't know. I mean, who knows, right? I don't know. I don't know. That's interesting. Grusch is also believed to have said that no more than 50 people know the full scale of the phenomenon. That's interesting. Because he says that he has 40 witnesses, right? And I think he says over 40 witnesses. And is he including himself? Because then he would be 41. So then there's just 9 other people that know the full scale of the phenomena. Or he is saying the full scale. So that's interesting. So I guess there's people that know parts, right? Probably hundreds, but not the full scale. So are they the 50 luckiest people on the planet? Or the 50 like unluckiest because they know on the planet because they know it? Wow. Okay. During July, and remember, David Grusch's claims were just, many of them were validated, y'all. So, as crazy as some of this stuff is, it is going to be interesting what to accept as a new reality. Got to be honest. Even myself, some of this stuff is tough to just like accept as reality, y'all. Okay. During July's hearing, the former intelligence officer also suggested the U.S. government has murdered people as part of the conspiracy to keep UFOs a secret. Remember, Luna brought that up in that video that I made yesterday during the, after post sort of interviews. She brought that up, right? And she firmly believes that to be true. Again, a lot of these claims. And those claims were repeated during the recent presentation. Multiple people involved in not only his investigation, but also his fellow peers in the UAP task force, such as Jay Stratton, were also threatened, reads the Post. Okay. He wouldn't go into too much into it since it's an open investigation, but these people pretty much showed him that they could touch him or his family anytime they wanted. Wow. And this is Jay Stratton, y'all. You might know him from Skinwalker Ranch show on History Channel, all of that. He's part of that. But he was also head of the UAP task force, and he was David Grusch's boss. Right? So right here, Stratton is the former head of the U.S. government UFO task force. He and his chief scientist, Travis Taylor, spilled the secrets of their official probe into a swarm of objects that buzzed around a fleet of 8 Navy ships off the U.S. West Coast in July 2019. And that's pictured. That? Okay. That's interesting. Stratton is a former head of the U.S. government UFO task force. He and his chiefs... Oh, that just said that. Speaking at AlienCon in Pasadena on March 5th... Okay, AlienCon. Stratton and Taylor said their investigation left them fearing Russia or China could have achieved incredible drone battery technology, but ruled out quadcopters launched from submarines that somehow evaded the Navy's best radar just miles from the mainland. Grusch has also claimed to have revealed that one of the U.S.'s... Well, that is just weird right there. Anyway, Grusch has also claimed to have revealed that one of the U.S.'s adversaries was set to disclose their non-human intelligence to beat America to the punch. Attendees of the secret event were also allowed to ask questions following the presentation. While the exact questions are not known, it is believed they asked what aliens may look like and where they are from in the universe. Of course, that's the first question you're asking, right? Grusch shared that the world would not be surprised to hear extraterrestrials look like the typical gray, and that there is also a chance that they are extra-dimensional, according to the anonymous attendees' posts. Interesting. So they're not sure what they are, right? When you hear they're demons, they're extra, they're not sure. They're thinking these things. But again, how do you judge? How do you know something's interdimensional or intradimensional or extra-dimensional if you have nothing to reference it off of? Again, these beings say they're interdimensional. I mean, that's the language they use. How do you know that? How do you know they're coming? If you haven't visited that dimension, how do you know they're coming from another dimension? Does that make sense? Like, how do we know that? How do we know what they are and how they're traveling here? Are we basing it off of what they're telling us, or right? How is that working exactly? That's what always, when people are so quick to say what it is, right? That's what I find interesting. So anyway, that could also just seem this way because of the technology they use rather than them being actual extra-dimensional beings. Okay, but again, because of the technology they use, but again, why would you think that? Why wouldn't, it could be something else you have no clue about, right? Does that make sense? Like, I don't know. I just, That just doesn't, I just don't get that. Grusch is also said to have revealed he and other officials were taught how to track UAPs in the atmosphere. There's a unique frequency or signature that the craft gives off. Okay, let me read that again, because this is what Grusch claims is his first-hand UFO knowledge, y'all. And they're kind of just throwing it at the bottom of this article. But again, that's what they're saying. That's what he's saying in the presentation, that this is his first-hand UFO knowledge. Okay, that he and other officials were taught how to track UAPs in the atmosphere, right? Because there's a unique frequency or signature that the craft gives off. So that's what he did. And he studied satellite imagery, him and other officials, and they were able to locate UAPs and locate crash retrievals and crash sites, right, on satellite imagery. So that's his firsthand UFO knowledge. He never actually, maybe there's more to it, but he hasn't stated that, you know, he's touched a craft or seen a craft with his own eyes, or material or a being, or even seen a being or anything like that with his own eyes, all right? Apparently, it was the only private non-government talk he had done so far, the individual shared in the Reddit post that has since been deleted, likely due to cameras being barred. As for how I feel about everything after hearing him speak, the attendee said, he's extremely smart. I mean, he has an almost unbelievable memory and knowledge about intel laws and other things that have to do with UAPs. My opinion is that he is the real deal. Almost everyone left that night fully believing what he was saying, or at the very least that he believed what he was saying as the truth. Very interesting. So again, I've got the full statement here, and there's a few, you know, it's interesting, right? So again, I'll put a link to it if you want to read it. But yeah, I mean, they put everything in the article of what he said, right? So again, that this craft could manipulate space and time when you got inside of it, the size of a football field. I mean, yeah, they talked about everything in it. So again, I'm going to put a link to all this so you guys can see it. The person that posted this, Hi Bears 88, right? He deleted his account. I think he wanted to keep his job, right? He's probably like, oh, damn, I'm screwed. And I even saw some people on Twitter who said they were invited, but then couldn't go, right? Because they invited more than 60 people. I mean, they had to turn people away, basically, for this, right? So that's interesting. If you're watching this and you were one of these people that got invited, or you were there, maybe you were invited, didn't go, what did the invitation look like? What did they say, right? If you were there, put down in the comments. You know, that's interesting. Don't reach out to me. I don't want any private correspondence. Keep it all public. Put it down in the comments so everyone can see it. But it is interesting. So look, let's take a look at this Reddit article real quick. So what's interesting is it's pretty much all the same except for this detail. So right, so you see this picture. Look at this picture. They don't share this in the Daily Mail article, and there's a ton of interesting stuff on here, right? So this is part of his presentation, and I'm going to read some of this off of here in case you guys cannot see it. Let me see if I can make it bigger. Oh wow, that got real big. Okay, well, yeah, we'll go with that. Look, and I'll move it over so we can look at this stuff. So current events, right? Whistleblower 2022 Intelligence Community Inspector General filing, December 2022. SSCI, HPSCI classified testimony. June 2023, the debrief article. Something 6 July 2023, House Oversight Committee hearing. American Alchemy, Yes Theory Docs, JRE 265, Tucker on X, episode 51. So I guess he's listing different things where he spoke about his knowledge. Does that make sense? It sounds like that's what he's putting here. But he did give some other interviews that aren't on here, right? We've covered them. So I don't know. That's interesting. Congress, it just says July 2023, UAPDA of 23, Senate, FY24 NDAA conference, possible 2024 House Oversight Committee second hearing. That's definitely happening after Friday's classified UFO briefing to members of Congress, right, where a lot of his claims have been validated, y'all. Again, that's what makes all this interesting, what he's saying. It's like hard to just fit it all together. But this presentation is interesting. Now, right here, let's see if I can move this over a little bit. Look, 2024 election, Republican candidate assessment, Vivek R. Ramaswamy comments. I think he's made comments about UFOs and stuff. It's on Twitter. He supports UAP disclosure, okay? Democratic candidate assessment, Biden, no public position. So basically he's saying one candidate who's not even a top candidate has made comments about it. The Democratic candidate, Biden, no public position. I mean, do they think Vivek is going to be the nominee? Because he's not, right? Biden, no public position. Key House members have supported transparency. However, others have blocked key legislative provisions. Yeah. And then down here at the bottom, public engagement is key for this three-branch of government oversight issue, right? So, I don't know. I just found that interesting. They didn't include any of this in the Daily Mail article. You know, there's Mr. Grusch right there giving the presentation. So, again, I'll put links to all this. You can check it out. This is the Tardis, okay? So it's from a show called Doctor Who. And that's why he said Tardis-like. He didn't say it's a TARDIS. He just said it's Tardis-like because it's the closest thing he could describe it. But basically, yeah, that's how this thing works. You go inside. It can bend space and time. It's a time machine. But also what's interesting about it is like rooms. It has rooms. Okay, this is basically what they described, right? It's able to manipulate rooms. The amount of rooms is limitless, as implied by the Doctor in the episode Journey to the Center of the TARDIS. Okay. He states that the TARDIS creates rooms as needed and even uncreates rooms as needed. The TARDIS has a swimming pool, library, bathrooms, kitchens, bedrooms, and much more. So I don't know if the UFO that David Grusch is talking about, was it just one big open area, or was it broken down like this? Does that make sense? Into rooms, and what was in it that it would be so big, right? Why would they need all that space? You typically have space because what? You need it to take up something. Otherwise, was it just for luxury? I mean, was it in sections inside? I don't understand. Were there other vehicles inside? How did it sit? Like, did it feel different inside when you stepped inside? Can you breathe inside of it? Like, the atmosphere is the same? Does that make sense, what I'm saying? Like, how does the atmosphere function in there? All the air and oxygen. How does it squeeze or get bigger, right? Does that make sense, what I'm saying? Like, it's only got a finite amount, right, from the outside, but when we step inside, it's bigger. How is that possible? How... And can you control that? Does that make sense? Like, is there something they have to do to it to make it do that, or it's just always like that? Right? I don't know. So I find this all fascinating, y'all. Right? Again, I'm just curious about this craft. I'm curious about David Grusch's involvement, right? His firsthand participation in what's being called one of the UFO programs, right? That they knew that these UAP give off a certain frequency, right, and signature, and they can track them. Man, people are going to want to know, what is that frequency? What is that signature? Because they're going to want to track them. This is very interesting, y'all. So there's a lot of them flying around all the time. Again, what are they doing? Are they traveling back and forth like our planes do? Like, are they taking people back and forth? Are they just studying? I mean, what kind of studying is that? You know what I mean? What are you doing flying around? Like, what are you studying exactly? Just flying around. You get new video? Is that what they're doing? They take video? They take pictures? I don't know. Just don't understand all the flying around. Like, what's it for? Where are they going? And they're flying around the atmosphere, right? So, again, I'm just curious, y'all. I'm just asking questions, right? Don't know. What is all this for? This TARDIS-like UFO is interesting because, again, David Grusch is saying we have it in our possession. That is clearly not man-made, right? There is no ambiguity there. So that cannot be confused with our tech. And again, your brain starts to wrap around, wow, we're hearing that many of David Grusch's claims, in the majority of them, that have been presented, okay, the others haven't been presented, but the majority that have been presented to them, they were able to validate. It's like crazy. Is this one of them? Like, is this it? Like, is this real, man? Do we really have a craft like that? Yeah, my brain is just having a hard time, you know, accepting this, to be honest with you. I like, how, you know, what's it like when you walk, like, how do you, that's got to be mind blowing to walk inside and just see, and it's like, how, what, I don't know. Like, if someone's on the outside of the craft and they knock, what does it sound like inside? Do you hear an echo? Do you even hear that? Does that make sense what I'm saying? And like, whatever the entrance is, can you see directly inside, right? And see that difference, right? Where you're kind of like in both looking, wow, look at this. I can see the outside, right? Does that make sense what I'm saying? Kind of halfway in the door, kind of looking, you know, real world, and then inside the craft, like, holy cow, look how big it is. But look right there, the wall ends right there, but I can see further. Is that how it is? Does that make sense what I'm saying? Like, you can kind of, you know, I don't know. Just, right? Like, does it weigh more because of it? So fascinating. Gosh, y'all, sorry. I'm just thinking here, like on camera. Man, this is it. You're seeing real time. My brain processed this, y'all. Is this ontological shock? Because maybe I'm suffering from it. Wow, what a journey we're going to be on, y'all. 2024. Wow. Go ahead, somebody clip that and share that part of me just like, what? Yeah, all right. Cannot wait to read the comments on this. And again, about this meeting that he had. Is anything dubious, you know, whatever? I don't know. You know, again, is he just anything dubious from David Grusch just sounds odd. Like, I just don't, you know. Again, what is the purpose of it? What did he want from those people? You know, is it just to prepare people for this, right? Disclosure in this stuff. I mean, this is insane. If this stuff is kind of true, I mean, you do kind of have to break it out small bits to take it all in, because then it just becomes a lot to accept. It is reality breaking. It is a lot to take in, and maybe a little bit at a time. I mean, that does seem like smart and ideal. So I don't know, man. Whew. Gosh. All right. Tomorrow we're going to be covering the jellyfish UAP video. There's just a lot going on with that, y'all. Witness coming out. He's been changing the story even today. Like, it just keeps, that thing just keeps updating. We got more analysis has been done. A lot of people have gotten on the internet, done a lot of analysis of the video, and I think that's probably what Jeremy Corbell wanted. So very excited to talk about that and update everyone. And we'll have the full picture on the jellyfish UFO video, okay? A week after, basically, almost, that it's been released. So anyway, thank y'all so much for watching. Again, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. We put out a new video every day, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. Remember, Vetters, every day's a gift. Peace.